वो मैंने बात वहाँ रोकी, but what I wanted to continue was how was the rollout? And in that you mentioned that your dad has been using it for like a year or something. Uh,
More. So the whole thing has been in development for about 5 years.
hmm,
The sort of workable build where people can actually use it and type on their phones, I think, has been, I want to say, out for um, 2.5 years. So for 2.5 years, I think I've had multiple hundreds of people have it on their phones, use it every day. And so they're finding like bugs, edge cases, and so forth.
right.
And we've been fixing the language model as well, improving
Ah,
our data set, aista aista. And so of those multiple hundreds of people, there's some primary beta testers who have been there from the beginning, including
yeah,
my father,
yeah,
who is very pointed in his feedback
yes,
about
yes.
his Urdu typing. So it's वो उसके बगैर ना हो पाता, like this
Huh,
sort of thing where you have so many different edge cases where the language can go so many different ways. Without hundreds of people testing it for this long, it doesn't get to this point.
right.
And part of doing the work was, we could have launched it 2 years ago, right? The reason I didn't is because uh, part of the problem with sort of Pakistani technology or Urdu technology, as I see it, is that we settle for halfway there or like poor quality because it serves a function that you couldn't see otherwise. कि आप उसके बगैर कर नहीं सकते, चलो low quality बना लेते हैं. And I think that really turns people off and pushes them into adopting Latin technology or other technology. Like if you get crappy Urdu software, kids are more
Yeah,
likely to
yeah,
learn to type in English.
yeah.
And so part of the ethos of doing this project was, can we build high quality world class level software? यानी कि आपको iPhone पे इस्तेमाल करते हुए लगे मत कि आप कोई non native keyboard इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं. And so I went to great lengths to get colors, shapes, in sort of different modes, exactly as close to a system level keyboard as possible, so that if you're switching from the English keyboard to this Urdu keyboard, the space key is exactly where your thumb would expect it,
Right,
by
right.
pixel. And so it took a long time to make sure that level of finesse existed everywhere, so that there is no barrier. Ideally, you should not notice that this level of detail has gone in.
But then this year, earlier this year, there was the official launch of.
Official launch almost exactly a month ago. So
Yeah.
November 15th this year, it officially launched. So you can now get it on the App Store on your iPhones and iPads.
So how big was the addition of users that came through?
Launch was good. So
Okay.
like multiples from the original kind of beta test. And so I'm sure there's some people still on the beta test. So good launch. I kept it like intentionally like not super big, primarily because it was going to go to a number of other devices that we haven't found. So I know there's one lingering bug that on some
Acha.
older iPhones, the keyboard crashes. And I've been trying to figure it out for a long time. And in fact, I have an really old iPhone that I use only for this purpose, on which it does work. But newer iPhones than that older iPhone are crashing for reasons I don't quite understand.
Right.
It's been good. We got lots of bug reports. जो ठीक किए हैं. So for example, like people using their device in zoom mode, where you can actually get the screen to act like it's a smaller size screen, so the buttons are bigger. So lots of people with decaying vision will use their iPhones in this way. For some reason, none of my like 500 beta testers, 400 beta testers had used this mode.
Yeah.
And so we had never come across it. So I had lots of quick fixes. So there are a lot of quick fixes over the last few weeks, but hopefully it's in like really good usable state now, unless you have an unlucky iPhone 8, in which case just know that I am aware and working on it.
Right.
So it's been a good launch. Hopefully we'll get to more people soon, get people's feedback and do it more widely, because I think my focus has been kind of US where I'm based and Pakistan yahan pe, but there's lots of people across the world that are typing in Urdu, in the UK, in India, that also have iOS devices. So the goal is to start getting to as many of those folks as possible.
Any unexpected regions जहाँ install हुआ था, we were like, अच्छा यहाँ भी लोग उर्दू में बात करना चाहते हैं?
Germany, like
right.
sort of up there for me.
Right.
Like US, UK, Pakistan was expected. Germany was up there. I didn't expect there to be like a kind of German kind of contingent of Matnsaz users. It's really exciting. But yeah, I think it's with 200 million people, you're going to be everywhere. So I guess if the surprise is on us.
Yeah. Okay.